Hey, good morning. It's Ange Sinclair from Digestive Detective. Today, again, I'm talking about Sibo, but today I want to talk about the diet that is touted for Sibo as one of the best diets. And look, there is a couple of things you do. If you wanted to check some things out, Dr. Alison Siebecker, Siebecker, is one of the world leading authorities on Sibo, and so she has a combination of the SCD diet and sort of like a GAPS diet that she joins together, and that's hers. In Australia, we tend to do more of a Bi-Phasic diet, so it's a two-part series, which each section goes for 6 weeks each. I'm not set in concrete with that. I'm a rebel, really. I don't want people to be restricted their diet for a long time because I think that is detrimental in the long run. I think it kills gut bacteria, it drops down the mucus production that you have, and I think it can be really detrimental. So a couple of the things that I do. So in the Group 1 foundation diet, basically it's meat, fish, poultry, eggs, no dairy, no alcohol, no grains, no legumes, no fruit, only lemons and limes, no joy, basically. So which is why I don't want people to stay on it forever, because for me food is about joy, and I want people to be enjoying food and getting through these symptoms that they have really quickly. But I do put people on it, and I tend not to put them on it for very long. I move them through very quickly. So in the first week, we cut out everything, and I keep them only on the phase 1 of the diet until they can come in and say to me, I've got no bloating. And the minute they have no bloating, I move them on to the next bit, which for most people with antimicrobials and herbs is probably about 6 or 7 days. I mean, I've had people go 3 weeks, but they're serious cases. And I also recommend that people, when they do this diet, that they need to include variety, because bacteria is being fed from all the different varieties of polyphenols and I can't remember what the word of it is for, but the phytochemicals that are in the actual fruit and vegetables. So, I don't want you to be limiting to only zucchini or only spinach or only carrots, or, so we really need to get a wide variety. When you get into the second phase, there's a couple more things that come back. You bring back a little bit more of the carbohydrate content in vegetables. You bring back all, fruit like berries and bananas and citrus and kiwi and all of those sorts of things. You can bring back rice in the second stage. But when you bring back things in, I would suggest you do it in small amounts. You're still avoiding beans, and then you start to bring stuff back in. I'm just trying to think what the other thing was you bring in. You can bring back in some different fats and some more nuts and things like that. So there are plenty of things to choose from. It does take a little bit to get your head around the quantities of things in it, and that's again one of the other reasons I don't get people to stay on it very long, because I prefer people to be able to eat unrestricted whole foods. So that's the active phase of the diet. I have had people do the Sibo protocol without doing the diet. For example, because it's heavy meat, fish, poultry, eggs, it's not a great diet for vegetarians. I have had vegetarians continue to eat what they have, and we've modified it by pulling the beans out, and that again for a week or so to get them to stop bloating. We do the antimicrobials, and then they can start to bring stuff in. I have found though with vegetarians it does take a little bit longer to get through the whole process, whereas I think when they're really restricted on the Sibo phase 1 and phase 2 diet, because you're dropping the carbohydrate intake down really quickly, it tends to be much more beneficial. You tend to be able to reduce the bacterial numbers quicker. But you can, if you're vegetarian, you can do it without having to do the Sibo diet. So it just depends how long you want it to take and where you are in your diet thing. But again, with Sibo diets, I think there's a real push from me anyway to get you eating real food as quick as you can. And tomorrow or Thursday, I've got a video about how you can bring foods back, because I see people who are on these restricted diets, even when they've come to me from somewhere else and they've been on a restricted diet, who are really scared of food. And that's not a good place to be, you know, that they're only eating 5 foods because they can't eat anything else because they're so scared to bring other stuff in because of the pain. So one of the things that I'd like to talk about in that video, or I do talk about in that video, is how to bring things back in, how you can temporary results to suit you, you know. If you're feeling bad, don't bring things back in that day. So look out for that on Thursday. So that's what I sort of do with the Sibo diet, and then I give antimicrobials as well. So one of the things that I want you to know is you don't have to do it alone. I've done the Sibo diet, that's why I know it's got no joy, and I don't want people to stay on it. I just think there are lots of ways to get to the same destination, and starving yourself is probably not one that I'm a real fan of, because I love food. So think about that. If you've got any questions, book in for a free 15-minute consult, and I can walk you through some things that you can actively do today that will help you out. So I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.